All right, here we go. This one's going to be a 9x25 Dillon versus 10mm test. And today we're going to be testing out some Underwood ammo. So for the Dillon, that one is the 125 grain Gold Dot. There's what that thing looks like. It does have your standard brass case. It's rated 1700 feet per second. And for 10mm, that one is the 165 grain Gold Dot. That one has your nickel plated brass and is rated 1400 feet per second. So we'll see how close we come today. So we are going to be testing out our brand new Glock 40. That one does have that 6-inch barrel. We also have a 6-inch 9x25 Dillon conversion barrel for it. So we'll be going through our gel. Those are 10% calibrated blocks. Do have our catch block behind that. So a total 22 inches of gel. Our 4 layers of cotton t-shirt on the front. And like always, we'll set up our chronograph so you can hopefully pick up those impact velocities. So let's set up and see how these rounds do head to head. First one up will be that 9x25 Dillon. All right, we're starting back to 15 feet. All right, let's see what we did on that one. All right, so it looks like our impact velocity on that one was 1556, so definitely quite a bit lower than you know, what we're expecting, of course. Definitely felt like a super light load too, but you know, still not too bad. All right, so there's that entry. You can see right down in there. It looks like a huge star pattern so far, you know, even though we did get a little bit lower velocity. And you know, I've been testing some SIG lately that's been you know, quite a bit hotter than that, so kind of surprising there. There is that cavity. That thing is absolutely massive though, regardless of the velocity. Thing was definitely dumping a ton of energy in that block. It looks like it did settle down very quickly though, and then you can see it did taper off a little bit, and then we did make it into that second block, so that's always good. So let's see what kind of measurement we have here from our widest spot. So like we always do, we will you know, cut these open later so we can get a little bit more accurate cross section, but so far right at 3.5 inches. So you know, pretty typical on you know, your average 357 SIG. Definitely not for this Dillon, but man, that is looking pretty darn massive for sure. And it looks like we do have a big blowout here on the top. Let's check it out here from the side. Oh yeah, definitely not too bad. So it looks like as soon as that thing came in, started to open up really nicely. You can see those super distinct spiral cuts going through like those Gold Dots normally do. And then you can see maybe that last inch or two where it started to settle down a little bit. Then we did make it into that second one. So that is always good. So let's see here from the side what kind of measurement we have. Definitely looks a little bit smaller from the side. Yeah, just about 3 1/4. So about you know, 1/4 inch less. Pretty typical, but you know, like I said, definitely not too bad. And then you can see that round, it is resting downward. And at our leading edge there, we are at just about 2 3/4 inches. So that made it 13 3/4 inches of total penetration. So definitely not too bad. So because this you know, stretch is so huge, we're actually gonna have to flip the block over for our 10 mil. So we're gonna set it for that and see how that one does. All right, we're starting back to 15 feet. All right, let's see what we did on that one. All right, so it looks like our impact velocity on that one was 1408. So, you know, right at advertised. Kind of disappointing. I was expecting it to get quite a bit more, you know, just because we are using that 6-inch barrel, but, you know, still not too bad. All right, and there's the entry for that one. Looks like I got a perfect hit on that block. You can see right down in there and a pretty decent star pattern so far. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, definitely not too bad. So you can see as soon as that thing came in, started to open up really nicely, getting quite a bit of disruption. Of course, this Dillon was kind of interfering with that, but we still got quite a bit of damage for sure. Then you can see it did start to settle down a little bit towards the end, and we did make it into a second block. It is that round there on the right. So that is always good to see. So let's see at our widest spot what kind of measurement we have here. Looks like we only have about 2 3/4, so quite a bit less than that Dillon, which is kind of surprising. But you know, that is some super old ammo. I've had it kind of just laying around, just you know, just for saving. So it's definitely fun just to see what it can do, you know. But it does look like it has settled down quite a bit. But here's from the side, you can see it came in, opened up really nicely, getting those nice you know, spiral cuts going through that gel. Looks like there might be, maybe not, it was looking like a little bit of fragmentation, but, and then you can see right towards the end where it did start to settle down, and then it did make it into that second block. So let's see what kind of measurement we have here. Actually, there is a little bit of fragmentation, not a lot, but usually with gold dots, you know, right at the mouth of that hollow point, there's usually really small pieces of lead, and it looks like that is what it sheared off. So from the side, we're literally exactly the same, 2 3/4. So definitely not too bad. And then there is that round. It is that one there on the top. Man, that thing looks like it turned inside out. It is facing forward, which is good. And at our leading edge, that one is 4 1/4. So that made it a total of 15 1/4 inches of penetration, which is actually pretty good. And that thing definitely looked like it was starting to make it to its breaking point. So let's check these out one more time. What I'm actually going to do is flip the block so we get a little bit better look. All right, so hopefully you guys can see this a little bit better. So the one going away from us is that Dillon, and then the one coming towards us is that 10mm. So here's that Dillon shot. You can definitely see what's going on there. So it looks like as soon as it came in, pretty much immediate expansion. Huge spiral cuts going all the way through. You can see where it did start to settle down a little bit, and then it is that round there in that second block right there on the top. And for a 10mm, same thing. It looks like you know, identical, that as soon as it's impacting this gel, it's starting to open up. But huge star pattern, definitely not as big as that Dillon, but still pretty darn good. And then you can see where it started to settle down just a little bit, and then that one is that top one there also. So definitely not too bad. So let's pull these rounds and see what they look like. All right, check these things out. Looks like they both got some pretty awesome expansion and massive expansion too. So I'm sure you can tell which one is which. The one on the right was that Dillon, one on the left was that 10mm. So here's that Dillon shot. You can see that thing open up really nicely. You can see that nice signature gold dot down in there, but actually open up pretty wide. This one is the 6-petal gold dot that they used to load for our you know, 357 SIG. Both of these, you know, are discontinued. They don't load them anymore, but figured this would still be a pretty fun test just to see what they could do. Man, check that out. Some really nice expansion though, for sure. Pretty uniform except for those 2 petals that kind of kicked out, but not too bad at all. And this one's a whole different story. Check this out. This is that 10mm. You know, even though it wasn't moving the fastest, that thing was, you know, definitely doing some damage for sure. You can see once again that gold dot down in there, but check that out, man. That thing opened up massive. Pretty much, you know, right before its breaking point, you can see those petals just peeled right back. Still has a ton of gel left in it, but that is pretty wicked too. Little top hat for sure, but crazy stuff. So do it one time from the bottom. So the one on the right was that, you know, Dillon. One on the left was that 10mm. And last time from the top. So like I always do, guys, I'll get our, you know, still shots, slow-mo, all that good stuff here at the end. So once again, that one was, you know, the discontinued Underwood Gold Dot that they, of course, don't load anymore. That one was 9x25 Dillon versus 10mm. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, so here's that Dillon cross-section. You can really see how big those splits are. Perfect star pattern. Same on this side. It's pretty much barely hanging on this side. And you can really see those nice, perfect spiral cuts kind of going down in there. So I did remeasure these. They are peaking right at 3 3/4 and averaging right around that 3.5 inch mark. So definitely good to see. Of course, you know, they weren't moving up to spec, but, you know, over 1,500 feet per second, still no joke. So let's cut this open. All right, so here's after being cut. So pretty much all impact right on that 1/4 inch mark is starting to open up. You see that huge path going all the way through. Looks like it did actually drag in quite a bit of that cotton t-shirt. There is some very, very small specks of lead. Of course, it is a bonded bullet, so, you know, of course, it's not made to come apart, but usually Gold dots at the mouth of the hollow point have those little tiny chunks that end up coming off, but there are some massive splits going on there, super deep. And you know, they're always super clean cuts too, very distinct cuts that those gold dots are making. So same here on the top, came in, opened up. This side you can really see that path. And you know, pretty much same thing though, massive splitting. This stuff's barely hanging on this side. But we definitely got a ton of damage. Like I said, it wasn't moving, you know, that 1,700 feet per second that we were hoping and expecting it to, especially at that 6-inch barrel, but it was still pretty impressive. Really big cuts. So there's a little, you know, speck of lead right there. We'll do one more quick angle so we can see what's really going on. But pretty surprising on, you know, the amount of damage that we did get, even though it wasn't moving up to par. Check that out, man. That is some massive damage for sure. Really cool, and always fun to test that caliber, and definitely something new for the channel, so always fun. There we go. That one was that 125 grain Gold Dot. All right, and here's that 10mm cross section. This one definitely got quite a bit of damage too. You can see those nice perfect spiral cuts down in there. Pretty darn big. Same on this side, really deep for sure. I did remeasure these. They are a little bit less than that Dillon. They are right at 3 inches, and they are peaking and averaging right around the same, but still pretty impressive. That one, you know, pretty much barely made it on par with advertised, which is kind of surprising. I was expecting at least 100 feet per second over advertised, you know, that extra longer barrel, but you know, still did pretty darn good. So let's cut it open. All right, so here's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side and this top is the left. So pretty much same as that last one, on impact, right on that 1/8 1/4 of an inch mark, starting to open up. You can see those nice wide cuts going all the way through. If you look real close, you can see really small specks of lead down in it that Gold Dot was shedding. And like I said, there's usually a little bit of lead at the mouth of the hollow points that's coming off. But we definitely got some pretty good damage going on. Nice deep cuts. This one's pretty much the same, you know, those super clean, distinct cuts. Pretty nasty stuff though, and same on this side. You can really tell that hollow point took some gel with it. A little bit more, you know, specks of lead going all the way through. And then this side's pretty much same thing. You can see a little bit of a cotton t-shirt that this one did drag in. That hollow point cavity was pretty huge compared to, you know, that Dillon one. That one is a little bit more shallow, but still did pretty darn good. And we'll do one more quick angle just so you can see what's going on. But you can see those massive splits going down in there. Pretty impressive stuff for sure. And same over here. So hopefully one day that they'll bring you know, all their gold dots and all that stuff back, because you know, it's definitely a good round, but we'd like to see a little bit more velocity out of them for sure. But there we go, guys. That one was a 165 grain Gold Dot loaded by Underwood. Thanks again for watching, guys.